Hello everyone, and welcome to a silly Fire Emblem video. So I saw some Fire Emblem 8 or Sacred Stones map tier lists in my YouTube feed, so I thought I would throw the hat I'm not wearing into the ring and make a tier list of my own, except I'm going to do it with a slight caveat with I'm going to rank the maps based off of playing the game via a randomizer. Um, so this is obviously just my opinion, and I'm going to be ranking the maps primarily off of how fun they are in the randomizer and how fun they are. The difficulty is taken into account. And although there are a lot of different types of randomizers you can do, from complete chaos to randomized growths, or to randomized growths and classes. I'm my gut feeling is that the rankings that I'm going to be put are only going to be magnified by by how crazy you make the randomizer. So I guess, like, for the first part, I'm going to put the first map in B tier. Is this a very good map? Not really. It's a very good, but it is short, sweet, and fast, and you can get further into the game and get more units quite quickly. So even though it is, I would say, very boring, especially in vanilla, this map is exciting because you get to see what classes you might be getting for Erica and Seth, and you can keep moving on relatively quickly. The following map for Chapter 2, I'm going to put in C tier just because it can be a little bit more of a grind. There are the reinforcements from the back, and depending on how crazy you have the randomizer settings, getting through this could potentially be a little bit frustrating, especially if you also have randomized movement. So that's why this one just is in C tier. It's kind of blah. You do get some extra units, however, it is not the most fun to play through. And that being said, the chapter 2 or map number 3, also C tier. You do get to see a lot of units, but depending on how everything rolls around, trying to rescue Ross and Garcia can be an absolute major pain. And there is a high propensity of units spawning in the mountains to transform into flying units if you're randomizing enemy classes, which can make things a lot more frustrating, having potential Pegasus Knights or Wyvern Riders basically hitting your backline faster than you would reasonably want to deal with them. Now, Bandits of Borgo, where we get the Coleman Nemi slots. I'm going to put this one back in B tier because in using the universal randomizer, typically you get like a 5-use chest key, so you get to have the fun of seeing what are in the chest. It's a relatively slow map, and you can very much use it to get some experience on on whomever you want. And it's just kind of fun seeing what the randomized rewards are, and you're able to relatively easily get some experience on whomever you want. Now our first monster map. Again, this one's just very bland to me. And everything that's in a tier, I'm not necessarily sorting based off of where they are in the tier at the moment. Like maybe for A tier and S tier, I'll do that. But especially for the middle tiers, they're all just kind of in there. And this one, I would say, honestly, is kind of like on the borderline between C and B tier, because you start to have more control over your units. But at the same time, it is still a pretty bland map, and not too much exciting is happening just yet. And yeah, this one is never completely scratch what I said as I'm putting things on the top of tiers, and because the map here with getting Joshua is another map where we get a lot of potential for rewards. It rewards you for moving. You know what? Yeah, no, this one goes to A tier because you get a lot of rewards for moving quickly. You get the excitement of seeing new units. There's not really anything that like hampers a run because there's a lot of flexibility. Like you might lose out on a reward or two for going fast if you don't go fast enough. However, it's a lot of fun to try and optimize your movement, especially with the more chaotic settings, and your units start to come into their own with level ups, and things start to get crazy if you do have randomized levels, meaning like you can have someone with absurdly high defense, so you can just send them in to go after one of the rewards, which could be anything from just 1,000 gold from a random item to promotion items, which is always really nice to have, because with randomized rewards there's no guarantee that you get. There are some guarantees for promotion items, but it's not guaranteed that you get the one that you want or when that you want it, or there are some that require units to stay alive, and those are, well, they're not. If you thought green units were bad in vanilla games, play a randomizer and watch them all just evaporate on first enemy phase. So our first F tier map, Ephraim's Intro. Why is this one F tier? Well, this map is effectively you're given a squad of 4 units that you have no idea how adept that they'll be at clearing the map. It is a long, slow map, and you have no preparation for this map. So if you're doing like a randomizer Iron Man, you could just get walled on this map and have to start the run over because you effectively re-rolled a new cast, failed that dice roll from the prologue, and you don't know that you failed that dice roll until you get to this chapter. So that's why this is a terrible map for randomizers, because no one wants to have an entirely new cast with no prep and have a long and tedious map. It just sucks. So, you know, this is also just a really feel bad map because, so this is the first Fog of War map. Why is this one F tier? So this one's F tier because even though you do have preparation time, this is the only naturally available Orion's Bolt in the game. And some of the rewards, like saving all the villages, do give you whatever the consistent reward was, like a guiding ring or an angelic robe in some cases. So this is, if you have an archer that you want to potentially promote into a ranger or sniper, and archers are actually pretty good in randomizers because of the propensity for potentially rerolling flyers. If you have a weapon might variance, you could have like iron bows that do a ton of triple effective damage on wyvern riders. Like, archers are really good, so potentially losing out your Orion's Bolt to a Pegasus Knight or wyvern rider, replacing a spider, or having the spider have ridiculous movement, or something else having movement and running in lieu of the spider and going and killing one of the Renee citizens. It's just a feel bad map. And because this is still early on enough in the game, you may not necessarily have access to all the visibility tools that you might have on later Fog of War maps. Basically meaning you could run into a triple effective weapon and have someone get one shot without necessarily having all the prep time. Yeah, so it's just a feel bad situation. Like, is there anything inherently wrong with the map in vanilla? Not really, but it just feels bad in a randomizer because you can potentially lose out on much looked forward to rewards. Now here, this is a pretty bland map. We're just gonna say it's C tier. You get a Knight's Crest, which is exciting, but overall, it is just a very bland experience. Yeah, and I think that pretty much sums it up. Just very bland, but you get a promotion item. Now the map with Torado. This one could go bottom of B tier because it's exciting to get the rewards. You get the full squad back together. You can move through it pretty quickly, and there's a lot of things to do. It can be a little bit tedious, which is why it's not necessarily higher on the list. But it is. I can put it above. I can put it at the top of B tier. However, there's not anything like new and exciting discovered. But it signifies the end of the early game and going into the mid game. And now it's the route split, and I'm just gonna do both Erica and Ephraim route. Just kind of in the order that they have them here, and we're just gonna stop after the Demon King. I'm not gonna rank the Tower and Ruins maps in this one, but I figure it's fun to discuss all of the main game maps. It can be really hectic to try and get all the rewards and potentially very frustrating, but I still love this map for an Erica route. You get Tana, you get an Ocean Seal, you get to see whether or not Amelia is going to potentially be any good, you get a few rewards, tons of experience, and I love the Erica route map music. It is absolutely wonderful, and it's just a very fun map. Now for potentially, so in vanilla, Carcino is an absolutely amazingly fun level. I'm gonna put it at, I would say, bottom of B tier because it's fun, because you get so many units and you have the opportunity to get some promotion items, and it's a ton of experience and just overall a naturally fun map. However, having all of your new recruitable allies survive is not easy. So on that, I'm going to put it in B tier, just because the frustrations of getting everyone recruited is very high. Now the Fog of War Manor. I'm gonna put this one in C tier because it's potentially frustrating to keep La Rochelle and Dozla alive, but because you have more prep work and you actually have the squad coming together, this Fog of War map is a lot more fun, and you can and depending on what rewards you get, you can sometimes rescue La Rochelle out. You can do like put an archer nearby. Like there's a lot of things you can do to try and like trick and tease recruiting them and saving them sooner. And I personally think that's kind of fun to figure out. However, that there are plenty of random seeds that just give you just a terrible time. So with that goes to C tier for me. Route map. This is just a boring monster route map. It's just tedious and takes forever. You know what? Hamel Canyon. This is an A tier map. absolutely A tier map because you can get out really fast. It's incredibly chaotic, or you can try and stay and get rewards. It is wonderful and awesome, and I absolutely love all the challenge, and it gives you a ton of flexibility. Just really, really fun. There's a lot of really fun opportunities for strategizing, and even though things go crazy from turn one in a randomizer, it is, you have all the prep work and you can see where things go. And if you're not doing an Iron Man, like, it doesn't take a long amount of time to like reload the first couple turns, because whatever crazy strategy you came up with didn't work. All right, I don't know why why Johanna Hall is here twice. So I'm just going to assume that this one was just extra, but Johanna Hall, I'm gonna say solid top of B tier because you can control the pacing, but everyone's been hit by Carlisle, and it is a really tedious map to get through. There's a lot of just walking through hallways and doing prep work. Oh wait, no, that's for Rigwald. That's why I got confused. Yeah, Johanna Hall, B tier, solid map. However, I understand that it can be quite tedious, and no, this is my tier list. It can go in A tier. I really like a lot of Erica route maps because even though it's tedious, you really have a lot of control over the pacing and how everything goes. For Rigwald, honestly, because of all the visibility, and even though there's a lot of hallways, it is really like clogged full of units. I would say this is just one of a really fun map to try to just go through with the squad. So on vanilla, trying to get to Dusel and keep everyone alive is fine. On this, because Dusel is a survive condition, and depending on how you randomize it, it could be either near impossible to get to him. You have to keep all the knights alive in order to get a knight's crest. This is just one of those maps that it's highly dependent on the random seed. So I'm gonna just say it's pretty neutral. It can be really fun or really unfun, just depending on how lucky you are. And Phantom Ship is, it's right up there with right next to the mansion, where it's a mid-game fog of war level, meaning you have modest amount of time for preparation. However, there's a ton of flyers. Rescuing Lara Rochelle can be quite difficult again, but it is it's not too bad. It's one of those ones where it is a route map. However, everything pretty much aggresses toward you, and you have a lot of control over the prep work. So I would say it can be fun, but it's very seed dependent. Let's see. Landing at Teisel. Ewan and Marissa usually come in pretty low level. There isn't a ton of reward stuff here. I'd say it's solid B tier. It's just how fun the map is carries it, but it's not. The randomizer doesn't make it more fun. It almost makes it a little bit less, because there's more chance of something just being not as fun, or seeming very cheap, or having your recruitable units be terrible. That just kind of makes it unfun. And I don't know why, I just hate this map. I know that's probably prejudice from vanilla. I just for whatever reason, I do not like that map. Now, Grotto Keep. You know what, this one can be... Is it A tier? You know, I think this one is like a top A tier map because you have a lot of flexibility. You have a lot of flexibility in strategy. Reinforcements are typically zone based, so you have a lot of control over what's going on, and there are a ton of rewards and a ton of objectives. Just like, you know what? First S tier map. Let's go. Grotto Keep. It's amazing. It is a great map, and I think with a lot of these ones, the more time you have for prep, the difficulty of the map and the amount for chaotic things like makes it more appealing for me, because it makes on-the-fly strategy and adaptability really, really good. It's a lot less about micro optimization and more about being flexible with the big picture strategies, and I love it. Desert. Potentially not having a thief to grab the desert stuff is a little bit of a bummer, and also the master seal not being guaranteed is a little bit of a bummer, but it is still just a fun giant brawl and beating up K-Lock and Orson. No, Orson's in this next one. Beating up K-Lock and Volta is just super fun. This map is Returning to Renee. As much as I love beating up Orson, the confusion around how all the throne room reinforcements aggro is just like, it's frustrating enough in vanilla, and then let alone having things throwing the randomizer in it. It's just, and just pretty much there being feeling like there's an entire map leading up to the throne room where it's then just complete chaos. It's just like, no. get me to the end game where we can have another S tier map. River of Regret. I love this one. It's an amazing map. One of my favorites in vanilla, one of my favorites in randomizers. Promoted units everywhere, tons of experience, lots of chaos. You pretty much have your endgame squad together. Sirener may or may not make the cut, or just be an extra unit in it. The reward of, I think it's the is it a fortify staff or a rescue staff, is not super important at this point in the game, at least in terms of randomizer stuff. So it's just all about going up and beating up the Demon King when there's tons of reinforcements surrounding you. Tons of fun, absolutely chaotic, but all your prep work can pay off. Now, this map is an experience grind, but seeing good level ups can potentially be really fun. So we're gonna put it at the top of B tier, because depending on what the growths are, seeing what the different well, basically just seeing if you can get like a perfect level ups on your best and promoted units is just really fun. Is it a great level? No, but is it fun seeing numbers go up? Yes. And sometimes it can be frustrating when you have like a berserker with a hammer or a halberd pop out of an egg and one shot one of your units. Is not super fun, but yeah, it is what it is. Seeing numbers go up. Now, if you have seen my randomizer playthrough, you know where this map is going. And I'm gonna leave it to discussion till the end because I think that is you'll understand why. So, however, so the first step into Darkling Woods. You know what? As much of a grind as this is, as much of a grind and a slog as this is, with some of the crazy in it, top of B tier. Like, I think I have a soft spot for it, but a lot of the interesting stuff happens on the left side of the map, so it's kind of more of just an experience grind until you get to the bosses, and then it's still just like it's fun, but it just takes so much time to get through that and all the interesting stuff takes place on the back half of the map. Now, unlike that, now the Black Temple, A tier. It is a well-justified reward for the end game. I'm also going to put the Demon King one together because I really just think of these two together. This is like, yes, it's just the final boss arena, but seeing all your hard work come together and pay off against the hardest enemies that the game has to offer, amazing, absolutely wonderful. I should probably put that in S tier. And then now, from everyone who's seen my randomizer playthrough, you know that Roston Court, the pinnacle of randomizers. Now, is this absolute chaos from the Fog of War? Yes. Can you get bolting turn 1 from the fog? Yes. Why am I putting this here? Because you have the entire game to prepare for this map. Like, especially like if you're doing an Iron Man where you're trying to make sure that you have the run to save, you have every single map of the game to make a squad as flexible and adaptable and as fast moving to potentially either hole up in one corner of the map or blitz to Reeve and expunge him from Roston Court. You can move Mansell around. There's a ton of really strong enemy units, and you also have the possibility of everything just being promoted journeyman with a very inaccurate, with like steel axes. Like, this map is so much fun in terms of just changing strategies on the fly. Like on turn 4 of the randomizer that I did for this YouTube channel, I got Purge Bishop reinforcements in the Fog of War. So I had to wait out Purge tomes and do all sorts of shenanigans to make sure that I didn't die horribly. It was amazing and wonderful and so much fun. I absolutely love the chaos because you have so much time to prepare for it. So this map, it rewards you for all of your hard work. So much so, just like the Black Temple, this is a cake and ice cream level for me in terms of rewarding all of the prep work, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, here you go. We've got a lot of endgame maps up at the top. We know that we have my soft spot for Princess Erica with a ton of her levels being in A tier. mostly things that you can bust and grind through pretty quickly here, with C tier being either very bland levels that you kind of are just getting through. D tier is just very potentially boring, tedious route maps, and F tier being like just feel bad RNG, really is what F tier is like these are maps that you just never look forward to on any particular playthrough. Like, you don't necessarily look forward to these maps either, but like, you know that you can get through them. They're just going to be a little bit of a tedious pain, where here, like, these ones you can kind of just like fly through, or there's one or two things that could be a pain with them. These ones just suck. But with that, focusing on the positive, pay attention to the trapezoid that's up here, and have a wonderful time. And hopefully, hopefully this was a fun thing. And I love talking about Fire Emblem, so please let me know your thoughts. Again, this is just my opinion on how I play randomizers. I hope all of you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya!